Hi, this is a video about woke, so just an all-around content warning for bigotry. I won't be showing any specific examples, but more analyzing through lines for how people display their bigotry and applying my findings to Nintendo products. Also, mentions of pedophilia because these conservatives are bad people. Also, spoilers, I probably don't need this warning, but I'd feel bad if I read it. Recently, I've seen a few right-wing personalities.
I, as you know, am a failure.
I haven't played Fire Emblem game, but I am aware that it is the first Fire Emblem game to allow universal bisexuality, meaning that the player's character can romance anyone regardless of gender. Also, there is a black woman. Normally this is ranked a pretty solid 6 out of 10, but unfortunately there is the Anna situation. In the original Japanese, you can romance Anna, whose incarnation in this game is only 11 years old. Concerned members of the anti-woke community would absolutely put up with the bisexuality to celebrate the game letting you do a pedophilia. This takes the Japanese version to a 3 out of 10, but the Western version inflates to a 7 out of 10 because they censored it. The West has fallen, millions must have something.
And here we have Fred Crumbs.
I don't know why I'm even counting this one. What little points it would have mustered with Annie becoming a punk are torn back down by Sheldon using child labor. There's also Fred Crumbs, but I'm not going to read into the politics of these crimes. 2 out of 10, the East has fallen, 10s must deep fry them. As for leftist analysis, the fact that half the shopkeepers are different despite only 8 years difference could be an indictment of current job turnover rates, but it's not portrayed in a negative light, and honestly I'd expect the shopkeepers to fully appreciate themselves in this case. Also, Sheldon and Krusty Shawn canonically still have jobs, and to me it doesn't seem like they struggle that much with the job transitioning process.
Circling back to Fred Crumbs, a Famitsu interview states that he was not so crummy until he deep fried himself when he heard that the job required the quote, extra crispy fashion sense. My man permanently debilitated himself for a job, and even then the game puts little commentary on it. The only indictment we have is Fred Crumbs being the ghastly sight he normally is. They made Peach a girl boss. They made Peach an active member of the story instead of a damsel to serve as a reward for the Mario Bros when they defeat King Bowser. 6 out of 10, the West has fallen, hundreds of thousands must be emasculated on this one obstacle course that is shown off in the trailers. A is non-binary. This is a known fact. If you don't know this fact, you are stupid, which unfortunately a lot of conservative reactionaries are, so we'll have to look at this from a different angle. So, when they look at A, what would they see? Not a non-binary person, but more likely a trans woman given the past history of the character. 8 out of 10, the saying was the variety of Jungian and Gnostic influences have fallen, tens of millions must have plausible deniability by never being referred to by the pronoun they. As for leftist analysis, you want me to do leftist analysis of an entire Xenoblade game in one segment? Spoilers obviously, but if you have no familiarity with Xenoblade, I suggest sticking around because of the quality word salad coming up. The L wants to leave behind the Kavesi and Agnians to go as the Sea People to a new L created by Alpha. A reason for this is that Mobius keeps torturing them and she doesn't like having to help save them from the torture. This can pretty easily be read as an allegory for people choosing to ignore the plight of others because it doesn't directly affect them. Moral of the story, donate to charity. These videos don't make money, I can't send all the proceeds to charity. Future Freya here. I'm selling Niall's position a bit short. She already has a distaste for the Kavesi and Agnians since the aforementioned torture involves forcing them to kill each other. And hating people because of immoral actions they have to commit to stay alive due to a system that in the base game was already a metaphor for capitalism, I wonder what this could possibly represent. Insert video of somebody torturing a Korok here. The only thing I can pull on in terms of wokeness is the Gerudo, that one tribe of black warrior women who live in the desert, which is obviously going to get the reactionaries upset. But Would this really be something about Tears of the Kingdom that upsets them? The Gerudo have been a recurring race in Zelda for some time. Let me put it this way, a lot more people were mad at Star Wars having a female protag than they were at Frozen having a female protag. Depending on where you take things, it's either a 5 out of 10 or a 2 out of 10, because either way, some of the reactionaries would get into a tizzy about Mineru's design. The East has fallen, tens to tens of thousands must be the last surviving Zonai. As for the analysis, the former half of the game's narrative focuses on getting support from 4 different races by solving their struggles with a common cause to come together to kill a centuries-old conqueror. Also, 3 out of the 4 problems are pretty much just climate change. Commander Shepard is a black woman, and even worse for these prospective moral guardians, she's a not very feminine one in a position of power over her fellow men. 8 out of 10, whatever ship you are on has fallen. Tens of millions must crash land on PNF 404. Now for the leftist reading. You know this guy, Red Leafling? He says that the only way to survive on PNF 404 is to become a Leafling. Now, becoming a Leafling nullifies the functioning of your spacesuit and covers you in this plant-like substance that keeps you alive. So, this guy's saying that, to survive, people must leave technology behind and become one with nature. This is also symbolized by the game's final level being the only one that is safe from human influence, being a forest. I don't know what to put for the teal mask. The teal mask is the only one I'm really drawing a blank on. Like, yeah, the region you go to, Kitakami, is based on Japan, but I suspect even reactionaries are willing to admit that it's where Nintendo is from. There could be the fact that you travel there from the Spain-inspired Paldea region, but that is very clearly more tourism than anything immigration related, and surely right-wing reactionaries are okay with tourism, right? What I could see is a puritanical reaction to Oakapon being presented as good all along, because God forbid we do anything new with storytelling. 1 out of 10, the East has fallen. A few people must steal Ogapon's Wellspring, Half-Flame, and Cornerstone masks.
What the heck does Elephant Mario do?
Now, no, I do not earnestly believe that the Wonder Flowers are drugs. But you know who absolutely would deliberately misinterpret them as drugs? Not necessarily right-wing reactionaries, but those mom groups that have a similar MO of putting out media that could be poisoning the minds of kids for having gay people in it. 6 out of 10. The Flower Kingdom has fallen, hundreds of thousands must gather Wonder Seeds to unlock certain levels. Do you think they dropped the last trailer early December 7 because they thought it wasn't worthy of the Game Awards? Or because they thought it was too prestigious for this year's Game Awards? Black Woman on the Elite Four. Yes, I know about Phoebe and Olivia and Hoenn and Lola respectively, but I fully trust reactionaries to completely forget about these 2 examples. The principal is black as well, if that means anything. 4 out of 10. Unova has fallen, thousands must. Okay, Petron's Data Mine Dex entry states that people who eat Smoky have their desires and capabilities drawn out, and it's implied that this is what happened to Kieran, so technically he's on performance enhancing drugs. So, that's that. Thousands must be on performance enhancing drugs that are also possessing them. Those are the words of somebody who has not read through the leaked mythical event. We'll try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Cause around here we take care of our own. Generally, this song sucks so fucking much. I had to listen to it way too much just to remember the chorus enough to sing it here. That is not something you want of a chorus for a #1 hit. This isn't a blooper per se since I caught it in the scripting phase, but I originally wrote Black Woman on the Elite Four as Elite Woman on the Black Four.